People think they know my story. A girl, a beast, a castle, and love. But no one ever asks me what really happened. No one asks how I felt. So today I will tell you my truth. My name is Isabel and I was just an ordinary girl. I lived in a small village with my father, a kind man who always tried to give me the best life he could. We didn't have much, but we were happy. One day he left for the city to sell his goods. He promised to bring me a gift. "Tell me, my dear, what would you like?" he asked. I smiled. "Just a rose, father." That simple request changed my life forever. That night my father returned, but something was wrong. His face was pale, his hands shook, and his eyes were full of fear. "Isabel," he whispered, "I made a mistake." He told me about a castle deep in the forest, a place he found when he was lost in a storm. He had taken shelter there, and before leaving he saw a beautiful rose garden. Remembering my wish, he plucked a single rose. But he wasn't alone. A monstrous figure appeared, a beast towering and terrifying. "You steal from me and now you must pay," the beast had growled. My father begged for mercy, and the beast gave him a choice, his life or mine. I didn't hesitate. "Take me instead," I said. And just like that, my fate was sealed. The castle was nothing like I imagined. It was huge, cold, and strangely empty. The beast barely spoke to me. Some days I wouldn't see him at all, but I felt him watching. At first I was terrified. I expected cruelty, maybe even worse. But days turned into weeks and I saw something unexpected. He wasn't just a beast. He was lonely. One night I found myself in the library running my fingers over dusty books. "Do you like to read?" a deep voice asked. I turned. It was him. I nodded slowly. He hesitated, then reached for a book. "This one is good," he said, placing it on the table before walking away. It was the first time he showed kindness. And it wasn't the last. One evening I was walking through the castle when I found a locked door. Something inside me told me it was important. But before I could touch it, the beast appeared. "Stay away from that room," he said. His voice was firm, but his eyes, thick. I couldn't ignore it. That night, while he was asleep, I found the key. My heart pounded as I unlocked the door and stepped inside. It was a room full of broken mirrors, torn paintings, and a single glowing rose in a glass case. I reached for it. "What are you doing?" The beast's roar made the walls shake. He looked furious. But beneath his anger I saw something else. Pain. I stepped back. "Tell me the truth. What is this?" For a long moment he was silent. Then he sighed. "It is my curse." And finally he told me everything. The beast wasn't always like this. He was once a prince, proud and arrogant. One night, a woman came to his castle asking for shelter. He turned her away, mocking her. But she was no ordinary woman. She was a sorceress. For his cruelty she cursed him, turning him into the beast. The only way to break the curse? Someone had to love him before the last petal of the enchanted rose fell. I looked at the rose. Only a few petals remained. He had very little time left. Days passed and something changed inside me. The more I knew him, the less I feared him. He wasn't a monster. He was a man trapped in a fate he couldn't escape. One night we sat by the fire talking. He made me laugh. And in that moment I realized the impossible. I cared for him. But happiness never lasts. The next morning I saw something through the castle's magic mirror. My father, sick, alone, calling my name. I turned to the beast, tears in my eyes. "I have to go to him." For a moment he said nothing. Then he stepped aside. "Go. But your curse." He smiled, a sad, small smile. "Your happiness means more to me than my freedom." That was the moment I knew. I loved him. I rushed home to my father, but my heart wasn't at peace. I couldn't stop thinking about the beast. Then I heard the villagers talking. "A monster in the castle. They say it must be killed." Panic shot through me. They were going after him. I ran faster than I ever had before. But when I reached the castle, I was too late. The beast lay on the ground, wounded, barely breathing. The last petal of the rose trembled, ready to fall. I threw myself beside him. "No, please." His golden eyes looked into mine, soft and full of something I couldn't bear to lose. "You came back," he whispered. Tears rolled down my face. "I love you." The last petal fell. And then light. Blinding, golden light that wrapped around him, lifting him into the air. When it faded, The beast was gone. In his place stood a man. Tall, strong, his golden eyes the only thing unchanged. "Isabel," he breathed. My heart pounded. "It's you." He smiled. And this time I smiled back. The castle was no longer a prison. It was home. The man who was once a beast ruled with kindness. My father recovered. Me. I was finally where I belonged. Because love isn't about looks. It isn't about fairy tales or curses. It's about seeing someone's heart. And I had seen his. So the next time someone tells you the story of Beauty and the Beast, just remember, I was there. And love, true love, is the most powerful magic of all.